Welcome, family, to another episode of So Walking in Wisdom. And on this new platform, we are indeed Nollywood aficionados. And while looking at the wonderful Nollywood movies that um, that are available to us just by coming through YouTube as a leadership coach, I it gives me great pleasure to consider the characters that are being portrayed by our wonderful cadre of actors and actresses. And in looking at the characters, I started just simply breaking down the characters on display because today more than ever, character matters. And as we attempt to connect throughout the four corners of the earth, throughout the diaspora, it's important that our character shines. If you're a man or woman of faith, we're also called to allow our light to shine, and our light should be lit on a hill. One can only do so when you have a good disposition, the right attitude, which will direct your altitude and give you a spirit indeed of gratitude. And in 21st century, what we're seeing on the social media landscape is anything but the right attitude. Having said that, Social Walking in Wisdom was indeed inspired by Sonia Uche herself based on her character and her character that is aligned with her digital footprint. And what I've seen is that throughout the years, looking at Sonia Uche, she always have a positive response. She always remind her fans to continue to elevate to the highest level possible. And I believe as a woman of faith, she does so by also providing us with biblical scriptures to which to aspire to. And as a result, I said, yeah, I think that's about right. As we connect on the technological platform, regardless of where we reside, when we interact with each other, it's so important that we display good character. And as a result, Social Walking in Wisdom was formed. So if you're a man or woman of faith, you love Nollywood like I do, and you always wondered, well, what about this character? What about the other character? If you're not a professional coach and you don't know how to do character analysis, or you may not have an inkling in terms of what you would have done or not do, what I would present on this platform is not just, even though that's okay, there are many people that are doing just, and we encourage you to go out and support them. It's not a movie review, even though I love the movies. Great acting, great storyline, great script, great laughs, great tears. But it's about the characters that are being portrayed. And of course, looking at the movies, we're able to glean from the storytelling, from the writers, from the script, from the producers. We're able to glean certain information in terms of who we ought to be, who we should aspire to be, who we should strive to be, versus the person we decide we no longer desire to be. And we can do so simply by looking at the characters, the roles that are being played. Look at the man or woman in the mirror. And now that you know better, you desire to do better. So if you're a man or woman of faith, you're ready to level up, move things to the next level, unlock your potential, and you're ready to do the work simply by understanding the analysis that I'm presenting to you, totally free of charge. You can make a change simply by asking yourself some of the questions, breaking that mold, breaking that negative habit, and replacing it with the good habits of your choice. Now, to date, we have about 18 videos, and we encourage you, if you enjoy looking at um, such detailed information after looking at your favorite Nollywood movies, please go ahead, hit the subscription button, fan out to family and friends who you think should desire it. Today, we have more than, again, 18 movies from Sonia Uche herself, Uche Nancy, Uchenna Mobano, Ruth Kaderi, and today we're going to look at Omoni Oboli's Chess. And this is courtesy a request coming from one of my subscribers. So if you have a movie you would like us to do character analysis on, we certainly will do so. Right here, you see the request for Omoni Oboli's Chess. So this is it. Here we go. And before we get into today's movie character analysis. And we have the esteemed actors of Bam Bam herself and, of course, Daniel Itimifong. We want to really thank all the hard work that's been done in the Nollywood industry. And we want to also um, do a huge shout out to the producers. This is the beautiful Omoni Oboli herself. And a lot of her movies are also um, gaining a huge following. And so we encourage you to continue to support her as well. This is her YouTube platform. So if you have not subscribed to her, please be sure to do so. But today, indeed, we're going to feature our analysis on the movie Chess. And if by chance you don't know anything about chess, it's all about dominance and strategy, right? Not checkers, but indeed chess. And many times in life, most of us play checkers. But guess what? You know who plays master chess? Our creator himself. So for anything that you desire to do in life, understand that most of the answers or all of the answers can be found in the Bible. So again, if you're a man or woman of faith, and now that you know better, you desire to do better, stay tuned for our character analysis. And again, we give kudos to Sonia Uche herself. If you have not subscribed to her, please be sure to do so. And now on to today's movie, indeed, Chess. So this movie follows a widowed a widowed father and then a young woman who just celebrated her birthday and um, with a person who she thought was her boyfriend. And unfortunately, the day of her birthday, he was a no-show. So he stood her up. And as a result of that, um, she just had one more relationship that went down the drain. So Naya is really a beautiful, talented person and not realizing the queen that she is. In this movie, Daniel's character, Adam, told her that indeed she's a queen and she needs to stop playing the role of a pawn. And I couldn't agree with him more. Naya is beautiful, talented. In this movie, she's a professional woman who is a relentless dater. And her motivation very well could stem from a fear of her parents marrying her off. So, but she certainly is on the role of finding a husband or at least a long-term relationship. And I think this fear and desperation um, based on her relentless dating really is allowing her to forsake her value as a queen that she is. And she's coming off more like a pawn. And if you know a little bit about chess, a pawn is a piece in chess that moves forward one at a time, often reacting to the moves of others rather than initiating a grand strategy. And when she had an encounter with Adam, eventually the movie went on to show that Adam was her new boss. Eventually, when they got to talking, he gave her free advice, unsolicited, but free advice. He says, Queen's plan and pawn reacts. And she needed to plan a grand strategy. And this is exactly how Naya operates in her dating life. And that's part of the challenge. She dates constantly, and even though in her mind it's intentional to eventually be married, um, there's no discernment in terms of the quality and the type of guys that she indeed dated until she met Adam, and Adam set the criteria for her. And I would say that in this movie, Naya's character's self-worth is tied to the success of her dates, and her fear of being single makes her compromise her values. And the core of her character is really her journey from acting as a pawn to reclaiming her identity as the queen that she is. And as queens, we should never be removed from our throne. It's important that we learn the lesson that men were created to be the chasers, and they like to chase. They enjoy the challenge of the chase. And even though we're in the 21st century, and this may sound old school for some of you, but I strongly believe, and so does Adam's character, played by Daniel, that men love the chase. And this is a wake-up call, and part of the chase is the queen using her beauty, her charm, but her comfort in who she is and understanding her value as the strategy. And based on what Adam informed Naya, it was a wake-up call, reminding her that she needs to be more strategic, intentional, and exercise a level of discernment in her dating life. The goal is not to be reactive and desperate, but proactive. And sometimes proactive means staying. Now let's take a look at the character Adam, the stoic mentor, and the boss. So Adam, being a widowed single dad who is initially presented as someone with little or no emotions, he establishes himself as an immediate power dynamic because he's the supervisor. And while he sees Naya's potential and her beauty, and recognizing her as a queen, which is the ultimate compliment, even when she's acting like a pawn, his role to serve as a mentor to her, not just professionally, but also personally, it provides her with a valuable but harsh lesson about self-leadership in relationships. And Adam's introduction of Naya to his daughter is a key moment as well. And Naya then, she was a little bit confused as to why her supervisor or her boss would introduce her to his daughter. But ultimately, it shows that Adam trusted her and sees her so much as a queen that he's willing to show his princess what a queen looks like. Absolutely, sitting on her throne. So that's a huge compliment and a testament to her inherent qualities despite her dating struggles. And his past experience as a single dad gave him really a more grounded perspective. He came with a little bit of baggage because he also felt a bit guilty in terms of when his wife was given birth, he was in a big meeting. And I happen to think that whenever he sees the daughter, it reminds him of his one true love. So at some point in time, the relationship between dad and daughter was a little bit icy. And Maya coming in to facilitate and being her mentor really helped melt the ice, the frigidness in his home. So this movie, Chess, takes me to the role of male and female and really building healthier relationships. And most of the movies, what we've seen so far in Nollywood is different types of relationships, right? We have seen mother and daughter. We have seen mother and son. We have seen friendships and frenemies. We have seen romance. We've seen besties. And now we're talking really about a romantic relationship, just about dating in the 21st century. And the powerful dynamic between Adam, portrayed by Daniel, a team, and Naya, portrayed by Bamba, is really a challenging traditional gender role. Adam, the man, is the one providing the tough love and strategic advice on how to navigate the dating world based on his experience. And also, he knows as a man what man wants, right? He knows what men in today's world want because he is a man in today's world. He also was privileged to have a love, even though the person passed, right? So he knows, he encourages Naya to be self-sufficient and to lead her life with purpose rather than the dating scene. And again, Naya is a beautiful woman. She's seen prospects even as in a business world, meeting different contractors and project managers and recruiting different individuals to lead a project. Most of the men see her beauty and clearly her intelligence and are interested. The problem is whether the men are available, whether they're married and they're not being open or honest. But you'll need to see the movie to find out. But the key to building healthy relationships family, as the film suggests, I would say it's again, we begin and end everything with you. So it's self-leadership. A queen leads with dignity, clear intentions, and self-respect. Naya's breakthrough comes when she stops reacting out of fear, being a pawn, and starts acting with purpose. This shift allows her to recognize an unhealthy situation and make a healthy choice for herself. Eventually, she was offered a job. You'll need to see the movie whether she decided to stay with Adam's firm or accept the job that she was offered. But the film really emphasizes that before you can have a healthy relationship with another person, you must have a healthy relationship with yourself and understand that you are indeed valued and you are enough. And because we are also a biblical faith-based coaching ministry, we have to consider 1 John 4:18-19. And it reads, "There's no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made in perfect love." So when we talk about love, fear and love really do not align in the same sentence. And if you're leading and dating with fear, fearful of being single, fearful of finding the wrong person, fearful of your parents, actually assigning a husband to you. If you work and lead with fear, then you've already lost. So understand that there's no fear in love. And that starts with the love of your Elohim, your creator. Love him with all your heart. And with that level of love, you're filling up your spiritual tank. That would give you self-love. And when you fill your own spiritual tank, self-love, you're then able to date intentionally. Date for the love and joy of it, with knowing that it's okay either which way. Therefore, you're not sacrificing and you're not minimizing your value and your worth, because you know indeed you are a queen in the game of chess. And then this movie also highlights, I would be remiss if I don't speak about workplace romance. And even though personally I would not condone it, but there's no right or wrong. So let's get into it a little bit, because the movie hinted a little bit about workplace romance, where Adam, Daniel's character, was the boss, owner of the firm for where Bam Bam works. So the pros here, right? You have shared interests and, of course, the proximity. You could go to lunch together, dinner together. If the company allows it, so you have to ensure your HR practices or your EU policies are aligned with what you are doing. And if you get the approval and it's okay, then yeah, shared interests, often share professional goals and company gatherings, etc. And again, the proximity of working together, etc. Some individuals never get exhausted. They love being in each other's company, while some couples still healthy to enjoy that space. And when they come home, they can exchange information. The cons of dating in the workplace, you have the power dynamics with a senior and a junior. Unprofessionalism, you can easily cross that line. And someone looking on can perceive that you've crossed that line. You have the conflict of interest, so hence the reason for ensuring your HR practices are okay with it. Your EU policies are straight. And of course, any workplace fallout, you risk losing your job if that's the case. And to conclude, let's consider some key takeaways. Self-worth is paramount. Your value should not be determined by your relationship status, even though in today's world, women can often ashamed for being single, not having kids timely, etc. You should be okay with your relationship status because again, we're talking about the love of God and that filling your love tank, which will give you that self-love. Lead your life, take control of your life and relationships by being a queen who plans rather than a pawn who reacts. You want to have healthy boundaries, maintain clear boundaries, especially in professional settings to avoid conflicts of interest. Fear is a poor motivator, so don't do it. Don't be fearful. Don't date and be fearful. Making decisions based on fear, example, Naya's fear of being married off, can lead to unhealthy choices and divorces. And then the last one, mentor and be mentored. Seek out people who can provide valuable lessons and be open to being a mentor for others. And ultimately, if you're looking at romance, then you may want to get a mentor of someone who's married. And this movie is really for anyone who is dating, enjoys dating, or even couples who are married. You can take a walk down memory lane in terms of what it was like for you guys, and you could compare. So if at this point in time, this is your very first character analysis of social walking and wisdom, we encourage you when you look at your favorite movies and you were to return to this platform to understand some of the analysis that we have done. For you to learn and grow, we recommend documenting your information and your responses if you have questions, or determine which of the characters most align with you and you know where you need to improve or not. And in doing so, if by chance you have a movie we have not seen, we recommend that you just comment on one of our character analysis and access to review, do analysis of a particular movie, we'll be happy to do so. And again, I have to ask if you have not subscribed to this television platform here on YouTube, Social Walking in Wisdom, we ask that you please do so, fan out, share, let individuals know that there's a great leadership coaching session, totally free of charge, based on their Nollywood movies. So if they are Nollywood aficionados, this is the place they want to be. And of course, fan out and share. And if you have not gone into our Sonia Uchi television to subscribe, please be sure to do so. She's at 950K. Absolutely. I've also done a character analysis of my household. Very good as well. But please be sure to fan out and let's go to 1 million strong indeed. And again, kudos to Omoni Oboli. Great movie, great acting, Bam Bam, and Daniel, of course. Just remember, you're indeed, and this is specifically for women, you are indeed a queen. You are indeed a catch. You were created to be the queen and the catch. Do not become the hunter. Men love to hunt. Men love to hunt. So allow the chase to be theirs, and they love the challenge. And if by chance it doesn't work out, that's okay. It's all about love and loss. But at least you maintain your throne and your dignity. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And again, if you have not subscribed to Omoni Oboli, Sonia Uche, or even Social Walking in Wisdom, my own platform, please be sure to do so. Spread the word. Come back right here on this platform for another character analysis. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, shalom.